This is where we left off last time. We found the square root of 24,649 as 157. And in this video, we will try to solve the square root of 73,441. Since we will be using the same steps, let's have the steps on the whiteboard. So we write the number 73,441 here. Before we move on to the steps, we need to draw two lines, one to the left of the number and one on top of it. After we're done drawing these two lines, we move on to the first step. We have to mark pairs from the unit's end. The unit's end of this number is the digit 1, which is on the extreme right. So the first pair we get from the right is 41. The next pair will be 34. And since we have just one digit left, we mark a tiny dot on top of it. The first step divided this number into three parts: 7, 34 and 41. In the second step, we have to look for a perfect square which is closest to and lower than the first part of this big number. The first part is 7. Which is the perfect square closest to and lower than 7? Well, 2 squared equals 4 and 3 squared equals 9. So 4 is the perfect square which is closer to and lower than the number 7. So we can just strike this off. We need to write the square root of this perfect square here. The square root of 4 is 2 and we write it next to the number. That completes our second step of finding the perfect square and writing its square root here. In the third step, we multiply above and add below. We multiply the same number with itself and write the product here. So 2 multiplied by 2 gives us 4. And we add the same number with itself and write the sum here. 2 plus 2 gives us 4. Since there are more pairs left, we draw a box next to the sum. In the next step, we subtract the product from the number above it. The product we got was 4, and the number above it is 7. 7 minus 4 gives us 3. Then we get the next pair down. The next pair is 34. We get 34 down and write it next to 3. And then we draw the same box above and below. As we saw in the previous video, the digit contained in these three boxes will be the same. And to find the digit contained in these boxes, we use trial and error. The number we have inside is 334. We need a product of two numbers such that it is lower than and closest to 334. Since we have a 4 and a box here, the product would look something like this. The units digit of both the numbers will be the same. Let's try out a few digits. Say we try 5. This means we calculate 45 multiplied by 5. That would give us 225. That's way below 334. So let's try 47 multiplied by 7. That gives us 329. 329 is really the closest we can get to 334. As 48 multiplied by 8 would surely result in a number higher than 334. So the digit in these three boxes will be 7. After we find the digit, we go back to the third step. Let's multiply above first. 47 multiplied by 7 gives us 329. Then we add the same digit below. 47 plus 7 gives us 54. Since another pair is left, we draw a box next to the sum. In the next step, we subtract the product from the number above it. The product we got was 329 and the number above it is 334. So 334 minus 329 gives us 5. And then we get the next pair down. So we get 41 down and write it next to 5. And that gives us number 541. After we get the pair down, we need to draw the same box above and below. In the next step, we need to find the digit contained in these three boxes by trial and error. We want the product of two numbers to be equal to 541. but the two numbers should have the same unit digit. This time we don't really need to use trial and error as it's really simple. 541 multiplied by 1 equals 541, and that's the product we wanted. The digit in these three boxes will be 1. After we find the digit, we go back to the third step and multiply above to write the product here. So 541 multiplied by 1 gives us 541. Then we add below. 541 plus 1 equals 542. And finally, we subtract the product from the number above it to get a 0. The number on top is the square root of this number. Before writing the answer, verify that the number here is twice the number obtained on top. Yes, 542 is twice of 271. Hence, our answer is correct. The square root of 73,441 is 271. If you have watched all the 4 videos on the square root long division method, then I'm sure that you would be reasonably confident of solving the square roots of large numbers. Just make sure you keep these 7 simple steps in mind and focus harder on step numbers 2 and 7 as they are slightly trickier than the other ones. Thanks for watching.